This short video is going to share with you how Woodland Park in Georgetown, Texas performed in 24 compared to 23. We do this annually for different neighborhoods in the 1 Acre Plus arena so you can kind of see how things are going. Now, Woodland Park is actually one of the better performing neighborhoods. You're going to see some surprises probably if you live in Woodland Park or are considering Woodland Park. You'll see some surprises on the good and the bad side. Let's take a look. First of all, let's look at the current picture. We're well into 25, and we're seeing a hotness ratio of 20%. That's the percentage of pendings compared to actives. That's not a very hotness ratio, but it's what we're seeing across the market. We're seeing as low as 10 or 11% and as high as 30 to 35%. So this is kind of somewhere in the middle, which isn't bad for 1 Acre Plus homes because the 1 Acre Plus real estate market does not perform the same as the subdivision market. And the supply of homes on the market right now is about 6 months. The overall market, we're seeing different depending on who you listen to, but we are seeing as much as 8 or 9 or 10 or 12 month supply in the 1 Acre Plus market, depending on where you're at. Woodland Park, 6 month supply, very good indeed. So let's move from current and look in that rearview mirror. In 24 compared to 23, how did the year perform? 24, we saw twice as many sales, plus 100%. If you look back at your high school math, you'll see that is literally double. We saw twice as many sales in 24 as we did 23. Big positive. Now in Woodland Park, from year to year, we see an average of about 20 sales. 1 year it might be 17, 1 year it might be 22, 1 year it might be 19, but 20 is kind of a measuring stick. That's what we tend to see. Well, in 23, we saw 5 closings in Woodland Park. So, yes, everyone was talking about the market and how poor it was performing. Yes, it absolutely was. 24 doubled to 10 sales. Now, we haven't reached the standard in Woodland Park of back up to around 20 sales. We'll see how that goes in 25 and 26. Now, the average price for homes in Woodland Park that closed in 24 was down from 23, about 5%. Now, this is a small pool of data. So don't think, oh no, my house is devalued 5%. That certainly may not be the case. The average price of the homes closed did drop about 5%. Again, a very small pool of data. I would say from looking at various stats that that's closer to 2%. So I feel like we did see a slight drop, but it was fairly negligible. You could nearly say we just didn't see much change. And I think that in 25 and 26, we're going to see improvement. Of course, that depends on other factors, but it looks like we're headed that way. Now, the time on the market in Woodland Park is actually a lot worse in 24 than 23, but it's a lot better than other 1 Acre Plus neighborhoods. Overall, the 1 Acre Plus market is seeing 100 days on the market and more. And the average in Woodland Park, well, up from 23, but at about 79 days in 24. And it's actually a little higher than that at this point. But 24 compared to 23, we did see a longer time on the market. But here's a contrarian stat. Buyers paid closer to asking price. Now, in a market where there are fewer sales, more homes in the market, and it's taking longer to sell, how come buyers are paying closer to asking? Well, I think that's part of the trend with the market returning to normalcy. Yes, there's more inventory on the market, but it's still not a lot of inventory. There are fewer buyers. When a buyer comes across a property they like, they want to get it. So we're seeing buyers pay slightly closer to asking in 24 than they did in 23. That's a very good sign. Now, home sellers in Woodland Park did lower their prices slightly more in 24 to get their home sold than they did in 23. Not enough really to make a big impact. It does show to be negative, but again, it's so nominal of a change that I would really consider it a non-factor. So when you think about it, in Woodland Park, overall, it's performing better than the rest of the 1 Acre Plus market. We did see a dramatic increase in the number of homes closed, and buyers are paying closer to asking. So those are big positives. And I'm going to share something with you real quick that I think needs to be heard each and every time you talk to anybody about selling your home. And that is homes that go on the market. In 2024, of the 10 homes that closed, 6 of those priced properly to begin with and didn't have to lower their price. And homes that do that sell higher, closer to asking, and they sell faster. So money in the pocket, your net, your inconvenience, your stress, your anxiety, everything is better when you price your home well to begin with. I hope that makes sense. Now, I'm just throwing out a reminder. When someone buys a home on an acre or more from us at Acre Plus Homes, they receive our love it or leave it guarantee. If they're not completely satisfied, if you're not 100% satisfied with your home on an acre or more, if you decide, oh, I just didn't want to take care of this much land, or I didn't want to have to mow for this long on Saturdays, or whatever the case is, we'll sell it and we'll waive our fee. And we'll do that anytime within the first year. So again, the love it or leave it guarantee says if you're not 100% satisfied and just thrilled with living in your home, we'll sell it and waive our fee within 1 year. And it doesn't matter if it's you don't like it or you got to transfer by surprise or whatever the case is. Any reason you need to sell your home, we've got your backs. Now, I did throw this video up here about the 1 Acre Plus love it or leave it guarantee. It explains the program in a little more detail. I hope you'll take the chance to watch that. If you like this one, hit that like button. And subscribe if you'd like to see more details and information about the 1 Acre Plus home market in the Austsin, Texas area. Remember, it's your choice, so make it a powerful day.